What is keeping Tinubu in office now? Because for me, he's already out. What is keeping him in office? What is making people to defect to APC is because of their belief that we are not a nation of law and justice, but a nation ruled by an individual.
When Tinubu came on board, many believe that he is the Jagaban, the master of strategy in Nigerian political space. But 2 years down the line, it looks like his strategy is not actually for the people of Nigeria, but a personal strategy that we confuse the political landscape in Nigeria and perpetually put himself in position for some kind of personal gain. That is what has been seen and perceived across Nigeria political brouhaha within the last 2 years. Now, KENNETH Okonkwo has reviewed some things that are mind-blowing concerning the current defection happening in the political landscape. But before we look at that, let's take a listen to the special advisor to the president on political affairs. He made some revolution, which I think that it is of good for all Nigerians to understand that under this current administration we have the highest number of appointees, which many believe that this is just a way of paying back to some certain people or a reward for some job well done.
We've seen that many times, and basically this is what I met and what I left behind. There wasn't much to do. I wasn't used to sitting idle. There was a lot to be done. If I had been involved, I could have offered my humble advice or opinion, but I wasn't. And I couldn't just be collecting salaries and just sit down doing that.
Now, that which you have listened to, you understood from that particular video that the president actually appointed some people and have no time for them. In fact, he also alleged that he can't stay without doing anything. So therefore, he went ahead to resign because he cannot be collecting salary without doing nothing. But such position could have been given to people like Olakpaso or FFK. You know, I think they will appreciate it more, judging by their recent actions.
I was privileged to be a spokesperson in 2023 election. We came on board about 3 months to the time. 3 months to the time, and we overwhelmed the whole system. And you're talking about more than 2 years. The people are the residue of power in a democracy. In 24 hours, if they make up their mind on something and they insist on it, that's the end of the whole thing.
But, you know, KENNETH Okonkwo made us to understand something dicey. I mean, concerning the defection in Delta State. Remember Omoma Agege? Remember the stealing of maize in the National Assembly? I mean, the Senate to be precise. Remember that there are a lot of interest in that state. In our previous video, I talked about the issues and the reason why politicians are moving from one political party to another, which is never for the interest of the people. And I gave an example as to the issues bordering Nasarawa State and Benue State in our last video, where I talked about killing and, you know, issues bordering of economic disadvantage or economic problem going on in those states, as well as a hunger strike in those states and insecurity, of which there are bona fide members of APC, which they even went as far as stopping an opposition from coming to their state to even contribute to the development of the states. That is how fanatics the APC-led government in Benue states are. But unfortunately, they are not receiving the dividends of democracy and the Renew Hope agenda promised by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And now, the Okowa-led PDP and whoever is the governor of Delta State are decamping from PDP to APC because they want to connect to the fact resources in Abuja. What kind of resources are they connecting to in Abuja? The truth of the matter is that is the revelation of KENNETH Okonkwo valid? Let me have a look at the comment section. But here is the video first.
I was privileged to be a spokesperson in 2023 election. We came on board about 3 months to the time. 3 months to the time, and we overwhelmed the whole system. And you're talking about more than 2 years. The people are the residue of power in a democracy. In 24 hours, if they make up their mind on something and they insist on it, that's the end of the whole thing. What is keeping Tinubu in office now? Because for me, he's already out. What is keeping him in office, what is making people to defect to APC, is because of their belief that we are not a nation of law and justice, but a nation ruled by an individual. They believe that if Tinubu sanctions you, no matter what the people think, you are already in there. Let's take the case of Delta State. You understand that Ned Nwoko said that his governor is not a performing governor, and that his governor has not seen the light and has been antithetical to the development of his people. And this was the reason he entered APC. Remember that Omo Agege, for instance, has been nourishing the ambition to be the governor of Delta State, and he also is in APC welcoming people in. Remember that Festus Keyamo has not been a fan to Omo Agege, and you know what? Oborowere himself, fearing that these people will now use that federal might against him, said the best strategy now, because he has not given us any economic, political, or social indices that APC is performing that made him to join APC. He said he is joining APC too. Why? Self-preservation, which is the law of nature in a state of nature. And now, what do you think will happen in Delta State? You want to tell Omo Agege to throw away his gubernatorial ambition? You may have something else coming. It is easier to steal the mace in the National Assembly than for Omo Agege to give up his gubernatorial ambition. And are you telling Senator Ned Nwoko to now go and fall for Oborowere that he has declared persona non grata in Delta State? So APC is already imploding and will continue to implode until they are blown to smithereens. And we are talking 2 years to the election. I've made it clear that everybody joining APC now will regret it. Because how do you think a nation of 200 million persons will tolerate to continue to be in ad infinitum poverty, ad infinitum hunger and hardship? Power resides with the people. When the people will speak all this